Hey friend, this is Melissa with Mountain Meadow Homestead, and just want to introduce ourselves. My husband and I, Mac, and our kids, we live here in western Wyoming and zone 3B, 4A, and we wanted to create this channel to help growers who live in a similar climate as us. And so we hope you'll follow along, subscribe to our channel to keep up with all of our growing and homesteading adventures. To give a little background, we have some land a couple miles down the road along with our home here, that we have a garden here, and then we're going to start a garden there at that property. So our growing season is from about June 10th until about September 10th, give or take a few days depending on the weather. And so one of the first videos I wanted to do was to go over some of the seeds that we use to grow our garden, specifically what kind of varieties that we use that work well here. And so we'll just kind of get into it. I choose seeds that are open pollinated. So what that means is I can save seed from those plants when they are mature for the next growing season, whereas with a hybrid seed, you can't always guarantee that the seed that you save from that plant will generate the same type of fruit. For example, if you save seeds from a hybrid tomato, you may not get the same textured tomato, the same size, shape, all that stuff. So my eventual goal is to be able to save my own seeds, the majority of them anyway. For right now, I just make sure that I get seeds that give me that ability. So when I was purchasing my seeds, I sourced them from a couple different sources that I trust and have bought from for a couple of years. One of them is M.I. Gardner. I really like his seeds. His seed packs are $2 per pack from Luke at M.I. Gardner. So very affordable for a pack of seeds. Another company that I go with is Johnny's Selected Seeds, or Johnny's Seeds. I can usually find a good variety there. One other source that I use is Seed Savers Exchange or Baker Creek Seeds. I don't have very many of those. I buy the majority from these two, M.I. Gardner and Johnny's Seed. So I guess we'll just kind of get into it. This is the system that I use to organize my seeds. It's actually a photograph organizer. You can find them at like Hobby Lobby or any type of craft store. I really like it. Might need to get another one because I'm kind of bursting at the seams. So and I have them in alphabetical order based on my labels. So we'll just kind of go through them in that order. The first, I have two for beans. This year I'm going to try something new. I'm going to try a couple different drying beans. We eat a lot of dry beans in our soups and things with tacos, so it'd be great to grow our own. One of them is the light red kidney bean. And then I have the midnight black turtle bush bean. And then I got the cannellini bush bean. Those are our three drying beans that we're going to give a try this year. For green beans, I really like the contender bush bean. They produce a lot of beans on one plant and have done well for me. I am going to try a jade green bean this year. I've heard good things about them. So we'll see. We'll do some experiments to see which ones freeze the best, can the best, freeze dry the best. That'll give us reference for the future of which beans we'd like to go with. After beans, I have in here broccoli and cauliflower, your brassicas. this year I really want to try growing some cabbage. I haven't grown cabbage before. We don't eat a ton of cabbage, but we do like cabbage in like milk can dinners, and I like to make a lot of coleslaw, especially in the fall, late summer. It's really good. So I have two varieties. I got red acre cabbage and then early Jersey Wakefield cabbage. And then for broccoli, I have successfully grown these for a couple years now. It's a Waltham 29 broccoli. And I actually saved seeds from my broccoli last year of this variety. And so I want to do a germination test to see if those seeds are viable. But it'd be really cool to grow from our own seeds. And then the only problem that I have with these is they take a long time to mature. They are 80 days. So I usually don't harvest these until August. And so I did find this other type. It's called Calabrese broccoli, and it's 65 days to maturity. So I'm curious to see how these do. We're going to give them a try, do some tests. And then for broccoli, I like to use these seeds. It's called White Cauliflower Amazing. And these do really well for me. I get nice, big, beautiful white heads of cauliflower. I'll post a picture up here so that you can see some of what we harvested last year. I can't remember how many heads we got, but I want to say it was close to 10 or 12 heads of cauliflower. And they just were beautiful and bug-free. The secret with the brassicas, so your broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, and kale, you need to keep them covered from the time you transplant them till you're harvesting to keep the cabbage moths out of them. And you'll have worm-free, beautiful plants. So next up we've got some celery, some artichoke, and asparagus. We're gonna try to make a new asparagus patch this year. I've used these seeds before and they've done well. It's Mary Washington asparagus. With asparagus, it takes 2 to 3 years to be able to start harvesting from them. So it'll be a while yet, but these have done well in the past. For celery, I've tried a couple different ones in the past, but they have been like a hybrid instead of an open pollinated. So I found an open pollinated variety, and it's called Conquistador celery. These are pelleted because the seeds are so small. It makes it easier to start them indoors. I can't remember if these are the hybrid variety I grew last year or if these are another open pollinated, but they're called Tango. I want to say these are a hybrid, but they do well as well. My mom, I think, if these are the ones from last year, same seeds, my mom grew these and had beautiful celery. And then we do like to grow artichokes. I did find an open pollinated variety of artichoke called Tavor, and it's an 84-day variety. And we have had success growing artichokes here before, so we're excited for that. It's always a treat. Next we have cucumbers. I like to have cucumbers like in my salad. I like to eat them for snacks. And then there's like I can't remember what it's called. It's a type of dip, and it's Greek, but you use cucumber in it, shredded cucumber. But anyway, I like the tender green cucumber. It's really good. And that one's a 55 to 70 day variety. My husband, he likes pickles, and he particularly likes spicy pickles, like Famous Dave's spicy hot pickles. And so I want to try and see if I can make some hot pickles for him this year. We're going to use the Wisconsin pickling cucumber. And they take about 50 to 60 days. And then this will be the first year that hopefully we're successful with these. But last year I had a really bad vole problem in my garden, and unfortunately the voles took out my vines for this. But we're going to try again to grow these cucamelons. And the kids are really excited about these. So they're great for snacking in the garden. The next one is herbs, and this is probably one of my favorites to grow. I love herbs, and I love freeze drying my herbs because they retain just a lot of the flavor and they're so easy to use. So I usually try to grow a ton of herbs and freeze dry them throughout the summer as they're coming on and growing. And then we store them down in our pantry, and I keep some up here in the kitchen to cook with. I would say two of my favorite herbs are basil and cilantro. I do two different basils. I really don't notice a huge difference in taste. Just one is larger than the other. And so I'm just going to see which ones do best year over year and then maybe switch to one versus the other. But we have Italian large leaf basil and Genovese basil. I've used both for freeze drying my herbs and then making pesto, and they both taste great. Some other herbs that we're going to try are sweet marjoram, and then some chives. Chives are always great when you want that onion flavor, but your onions aren't ready yet. And then we've got some rosemary. I bought a couple packets of those, and I bought a couple packets of thyme. My mom had some dill plants last year, and so we're gonna try some of her dill seed that she saved for me, as well as she had some catmint, which this will be for our bees. I've got some catmint seeds. We have bees up at the property, and just watching my mom's garden with the catmint and lavender, the bees just love all of that. So I want to start some catmint. If I can't, I will try to get some starts from our local greenhouse. And then oregano. We love oregano. So we're going to give that a try. Oh, can't forget, I've got sage and then cilantro. Love cilantro. We do a lime cilantro chicken marinade. That's so, so good. And so we always need a ton of cilantro. One other thing that I want to try to make this year is, or start this year, I should say, is rhubarb. So I do have rhubarb seeds. And again, if I'm unsuccessful with starting these seeds, then we'll go to the greenhouse and buy some rhubarb plants. I also, I love doing salads. So we have quite a bit of options for leafy greens. We can go from fairly cold or cool weather to intense sun heat during the day. We're at about 6,500 feet, and so the sun can be brutally hot, even though it could be 75 degrees outside. The sun is just so intense, and so our greens tend to bolt easily because of that sun intensity. So I look for varieties that are slow bolt or that I've tried and seem to last longer before they bolt. And so I've got some tried and trues here. I've got some slow bolt lettuce. This stuff is great. And then I've got some Bloomsdale long-standing spinach. And they both taste great. One that I'm going to try this year is butter crunch lettuce. I'm not a huge fan of lettuce that tends to go wilty really fast, which this slow boat lettuce, if I don't cut it early in the morning when there's some dew on the ground, it can tend to be wimpy or wilty, if you will, pretty quickly. So I'm looking forward to growing this one. I do have some romaines that are pretty tasty. I like this romaine lettuce. And then I have a red romaine that we harvest. And then something interesting that I discovered last year is arugula. Now, I've tried arugula at the grocery store and I've not liked it at all, not even a bit. I tried growing this arugula for kicks and giggles last year, and I really liked it. I really liked the flavor. So we're going to grow it again. And I did save seed last year from our plant. So we're going to try germination tests on that and see how we did with the seed saving there. Now, kale. I do have some kale varieties. I am not a huge fan of kale. I will sometimes put it like in a chopped salad just because I know it's good for you, and in small quantities it's okay. But I've never tried this variety of kale, and I'm hoping that I will like this better. It's called lacinato dinosaur kale, if I'm saying that right. And so we're going to give this a try. If we have a ton of kale that we're not eating, more for the chickens. They'll love it. So nothing goes to waste in the garden. The chickens eat a lot of the waste that we may have. I think that is all for our leafy greens. The next one is one that I'm going to start with you guys this next week. I have it on the calendar to start, and it's our onions. In the past, I've bought onion starts from Dixondale Onion Farms or Dixondale Farms. I can't remember how they have it on their site, and I've always bought the Sterling or the Patterson onions. They both do well here. I actually prefer the Sterling onions over the Patterson. They seem to store longer for me and have more potent oniony taste long into the season. And so, but this year I really want to try and start our own onion seeds. I've tried to do this in the past and failed miserably, but I've done a lot of watching videos on YouTube on how to properly do this and to have the best outcome. So we're going to give it a try again. Now, I looked for varieties that were long storing for both red and a yellow onion. And I looked for varieties that I could save seeds from. So these were the two that I came up with. I have a red Weathersfield onion. And then I have a New York Early onion. And both are a long day variety onion where we're fairly up north here in Wyoming. So we're going to start those. And then I also want to try starting some bunching onions. So I got two varieties. This one's a 50-day variety. And Guardsman bunching onion. And this one is a Tokyo long white bunching onion. It is a 70-day variety. So we'll give those a try and see how we like them. Next we have peppers. Now, I'm not a huge fan of hot peppers. I like to taste my food and not have my tongue on fire. So, however, my husband likes heat. So we do have some hot peppers in here. I will probably have him go through and pick out the ones that he would like to have me start for our garden. And we'll just kind of go from there. We'll just kind of go through the ones that I know that we'll start seeds for. I have a couple different bell peppers. I'll just show you. I've got a California Wonder Bell, a Golden Cal Wonder, and a Big Red. and they all do really well. They're all about 65 to 75 days. I have this one I'm excited for. It's a giant Marconi pepper. It's supposed to be sweet. This will be the first year I'll try this one. It's 75 days. And then these two are new from My Gardener this year. They are called a habanada and a nata. So they have the sweetness and taste of the habanero and the jalapeno, but they're not hot. So I'm excited to see what those taste like and how we can use them. We do like to do a lot of fajita, peppers with fajitas and peppers like in our eggs and what else? In our breakfast burritos, some soups and chilies. So we're always in need of peppers. The other one that I'm going to do is this. This one's a hybrid, but it's a barren pepper. It's a type of like chili pepper. And so I do can like roast them and then I'll can them like as green chilies like you would get in the store, those cans of green chilies. But I think it's a type of like Anaheim pepper. And then this one is new for us this year also. It's a lunchbox pepper mix. So those will be fun to try. And then some of our hot peppers that we have in here, we've got a serrano, pepperoncini, sweet banana pepper. One that we will for sure do that's hot is the early jalapeno for salsas. I tried the shishito peppers last year and I wasn't super impressed with them. I didn't really care for them too much. And then I do have some habanero and cayenne. So we'll see which ones he chooses and kind of go from there. The next one that we've got is our root vegetables. Now, we do a lot of soups, stews, and the like in the wintertime. It makes our meat stretch, and it's just a good hearty meal when it's cold outside. You can see it's snowing behind me. And so we grow a lot of carrots and celery and onions because those are the base of those soups. So I have I actually have 4 varieties of carrots, but 3 main ones that are more to try to see which variety we like. We've got a Danvers 126 carrot, a Scarlet Nantes carrot, and a Tender Sweet carrot. So what I'm looking for in a carrot, I'm looking for something that's decent length, decent width, and has a nice sweet flavor to it. The 4th type of carrot that I have is a dragon carrot. It's like a purple variety. Thought it would be fun to grow. I have grown some purple carrots in the past, and they're really cool when you slice into them. These next 2 root vegetables are more for my family than for me. One of them is a radish, a China rose radish. My kids really like radishes out of the garden, and so we're going to try those ones this year. And then a cylindra beet. My husband likes beets. I do not, but he likes them, so we're going to give these a try. And then we have peas and corn. Now, corn does not grow super easily here. We're very dry and not very moist. We don't get a lot of rain, and we can go a month without rain or any type of moisture. So in the summertime anyway. And so, and our season is pretty short. Everything works against us. But we have some varieties that we're going to give a try and see if we can grow them successfully. I found this Ambrosia sweet corn. And again, these are all open pollinated varieties, so I can save seed if I want to. And then this one is a double standard corn. This one is a 73-day variety. I really was looking for like a popcorn type. We eat a lot of popcorn. And so this one is a Japanese hulless corn, and it's 85 days. And then I have a dent corn for like milling your own cornmeal or for feeding it to farm animals. So I wanted to see how this one would work out here. And it's called a Nothston dent. So we'll try that. And then for peas, we really like the Wando pea. Big, nice, fat pea, and easy for harvesting. The pods usually are full of peas, and so that one's really good. We did harvest our own seeds this last year, so we're gonna give those a try. And then this one's new for us, a sugar snap pea. My kids love snacking on snap peas, so we're gonna try that one out. Our next one is our squash bin here. And a lot of these are going to be experiments. Again, short season, but I think I found some varieties that might work here. I have a sweet meat squash. It is a 95-day variety. So I might have to do some of these in the greenhouse. This one is, I tried to grow this one last year, but I planted it too late by the time I thought about planting it. This one's an 80-day variety, but it's a Table King bush acorn squash. And then we have a spaghetti squash. This one's 85 days. And then we have a butter bush squash. My husband loves honey nut squash, so this is a variety that we might be able to grow here. It's 75 days. It'll focus. And then we have your typical Black Beauty zucchini, and we have a yellow scallop squash that I thought we might try this year. For pumpkins, I have New England Pie and Cinnamon Girl. Cinnamon Girl is a hybrid from Johnny Seeds. And then I thought we would try the Weeby Little Pumpkin. They're just little pumpkins. They thought if they grow well, they'd be great for decorating, and then we can feed them to the chickens once we're done with them as decorations. This next one is tomatillos. Now, we really like to make a roasted tomatillo salsa. We'll put it in like tacos. We'll put it in breakfast burritos, any type of soup that calls for tomatillos and the like. It's really, really tasty, and so we eat a lot of it. Chicken chalupas, we'll put them in our chicken chalupas or enchiladas. So I found this variety. It's 60 days, a poncho tomatillo. I don't know if it'll focus. There it goes. And I have a Toma Verde tomatillo. I think both are 60 days, so we'll give those a try. I have tried the green husk tomatillos in the past. They just take a lot longer to get to maturity level, so I'm looking for ones that don't take as long. And then lastly here, I have a pineapple tomatillo, also known as a ground cherry, and it's kind of like a mix between a pineapple and a tomato, but with the texture of a tomatillo. They're pretty good. We like them. And then onto our tomatoes. Tomatoes, we're gonna try some new ones this year and some of our old tried and trues. So I always grow Roma tomatoes. They're great for any of your canned goods, really, because they're really meaty and not super watery. And then a new one that we're going to try this year that's similar to the aroma is a Napoli tomato. And I think they're about the same on maturity days. And then this is a new one, a 40-day or 42-day tomato. And it's supposed to be ready in 42 days. So that would be cool if we had a tomato earlier in the season. And we have two of our cherry tomatoes that we're going to do the Sweetie and the Gold Nugget tomato. And then these two are new varieties for this year, recommended by Becky at Acre Homestead. The Dr. Witchy's yellow tomato and the pineapple tomato. They're supposed to be more meaty, less watery slicing tomatoes. And then for melons, I have a couple different varieties. There's one in particular that I'm pretty excited to try. It was bred up in northern Idaho where there's cooler nights, and so I'm hoping that this one is called the Blacktail Mountain Watermelon will do well here. And then we have a Minnesota Midget Cantaloupe and a Sugar Baby Watermelon, and then a Moon and Stars Watermelon. So we'll see which variety does the best up here. And then something that I am excited to give a try this year are peanuts. Now, I don't know if they will do well or if they'll fail horribly, but I figured we'll at least give it a try. We eat a lot of peanut butter in our family, and so it'd be pretty awesome if we could successfully grow these. I'm unsure though, so we'll see as we go throughout the gardening season what happens with those. And then lastly, last year I discovered how much I love having flowers in my garden. The beauty, the pollinators it brings in, and then having flowers on my kitchen table all summer long, loved it. So I have a few different flowers here that we're going to start together. Some of my favorites are like snapdragons. I love the zinnias. They're super easy to grow here. I have a couple different sunflower varieties that we're going to try. Marigolds. I've tried dahlias, but they just bloom too late in the season and they're very soft or frost sensitive. Geraniums, and then I really love straw flowers. They're such a cool flower to grow. So they do very well and they don't mind the cold too much. So we're going to try those, and that is all that I have to share with you guys today. I really hope that you'll subscribe and follow us as we go along our journey this year. We have some big plans in the works for starting our new garden up at our land just down the road, and all the things that entails. Yeah, and we hope you can learn some things from us and learn with us as we try new things here in Wyoming. And we hope you stick around. So be watching for subsequent videos, and hope to see you soon, friend. Bye.